Chosen ones, you just secured the biggest checkmate, and this cannot be undone. The cosmic game board has tilted in your favor, and the final move has already been made. Advanced consciousness research reveals that only a fraction of humanity ever experiences what scientists call destiny convergence, that moment when every seemingly random event crystallizes into perfect strategic positioning. What appears to be coincidence is actually cosmic precision orchestrated across dimensions, while others played surface games in the material realm. The universe has been moving pieces you couldn't see, setting up a victory so complete that your opposition will never recover. The silence surrounding your life right now isn't stagnation, it's the charged stillness before lightning strikes. While everyone else built houses of cards on shifting sand, you unknowingly constructed an underground fortress that no storm could ever reach. Everything feels quiet around you. Too quiet. The waiting seems endless, and from every external perspective, you appear stuck in stagnation. Your opponents assume you've run out of options, that their carefully orchestrated obstacles have finally trapped you in a corner with no escape route. They're celebrating prematurely, convinced their strategies have neutralized your threat to their established order. Fools. What they fundamentally fail to grasp is that this silence isn't surrender, it's strategy. This stillness isn't weakness, it's weaponized patience that most humans will never possess. The most dangerous move in any cosmic game is sometimes no move at all. The master understands when to act and when to let universal forces act through them, while everyone else scrambles desperately to force outcomes. You've discovered ultimate power, the ability to remain completely still while everything rearranges itself to your advantage. This isn't inaction born from fear, this is calculated discipline from someone who understands that timing governs everything. Patience isn't passive waiting, it's predatory positioning. The lion doesn't chase prey across savannas in frantic pursuit. It waits with deadly precision for that perfect strike moment. You've learned to harness the space between action and reaction, while others live in constant reactive mode, responding to every stimulus like puppets dancing to strings. You've mastered the art of conscious response. This gap, this pause, this breath space between what happens to you and how you choose to respond, this is where your true sovereignty lives. Your opponents mistake this mastery for hesitation because they've never experienced the luxury of choice. They don't understand that when you pause before responding, you're not frozen with indecision, you're accessing infinite possibility. In that moment of stillness, you're consulting with forces they can't perceive, downloading wisdom from dimensions they'll never access. Behind the scenes of your visible reality, forces are aligning with surgical precision for something far greater than your mind could conceive. The universe doesn't waste movements. Every setback, every unexpected turn, every disappointing outcome that brought you here was necessary architecture. Not a single step could have been skipped without compromising the entire structure. The chess pieces of your destiny have been moving across invisible boards for longer than you realize. That rejection that crushed your spirit became the redirection toward your true path. That betrayal that shattered your trust became the catalyst for self-reliance. That loss that broke your heart became the opening for something infinitely greater to enter your life. Your checkmate wasn't secured in a single move. It was the result of a master strategy playing out across seasons of preparation. They mistake your silence for weakness because they've never possessed the inner strength required for true stillness. They mistake your patience for indecision because they've never known the unshakable confidence of absolute certainty. What appears as delay is actually divine precision. What feels like stagnation is a shift so massive it exists beyond ordinary perception. You're being positioned with surgical accuracy for something that will make your previous ambitions look like child's play. You've been asking for inches, and the universe has been preparing miles. You've been hoping for crumbs, and a feast is being arranged. This positioning feels uncomfortable because growth always requires expanding beyond your current container. The butterfly doesn't emerge without the chrysalis first becoming unbearably restrictive. The seed doesn't sprout until it's completely buried in darkness. Your discomfort isn't punishment, it's preparation for elevation so dramatic your former self wouldn't recognize who you're becoming. Your checkmate position operates on multiple dimensional levels simultaneously. While your opponents see only the surface game, you've been granted access to the quantum chessboard, where moves ripple across past, present, and future. Every decision you've made, every path you've chosen, every door you've walked through has been simultaneously creating and destroying alternate timelines. The version of reality where you remain small, scared, and powerless has been systematically eliminated with each bold choice you've made. The discomfort you feel right now is interdimensional friction. You're literally occupying multiple probability states at once, and your consciousness is adjusting to this expanded existence. The headaches, the strange dreams, the moments where reality feels slightly off-kilter, these aren't signs of instability. These are symptoms of your awareness expanding beyond the limited bandwidth that once contained your perception. This elevation serves purposes beyond your individual journey. The ripple effects of your transformation will touch lives you'll never meet, influence events you'll never witness, contribute to evolutionary currents extending generations into the future. The weight on your shoulders isn't a burden, it's significant. The pressure you feel isn't punishment, it's purpose. You've become a frequency anchor for elevated consciousness on this planet. Your very existence at this new vibrational level creates a permission field for others to rise. Every moment you spend operating from this checkmate position, you're broadcasting a signal across the collective unconscious that whispers to sleeping souls, this is possible, this is how it's done, this is what awakening looks like. The universe doesn't create chosen ones for personal gratification. It creates them as evolutionary catalysts, as consciousness pioneers who venture into uncharted territories of human potential and then beam back the coordinates for others to follow. Your checkmate isn't just your victory, it's humanity's victory, expressed through your unique configuration of courage and consciousness. Your new position renders you untouchable, not because you're hiding behind walls, but because you've become the fortress itself. Attacks that once devastated you now bounce off like pebbles against mountain stone. Words that once cut deep now dissolve before reaching your consciousness. Your electromagnetic field has shifted so dramatically that negativity cannot penetrate your space. You don't chase anymore, you attract. Right people, right opportunities, right circumstances find you through magnetic pull that's the natural result of perfect alignment with your purpose. The universe has become your matchmaker, delivering exactly what you need precisely when needed. Your words carry weight they never possessed. Your decisions create ripples extending far beyond your immediate circle. Your presence changes room energy, not because you try to be important, but because you've stopped trying to be anything other than authentically yourself. Mountains don't strive to be tall, they simply exist. Oceans don't struggle for depth, they simply are. You no longer strain to prove worth. You embody it, and reality responds accordingly. This energy you now carry doesn't shout for recognition, it demands respect through silent authority. You've stepped into a presence that commands attention without effort, influence without manipulation. This transcends charisma or social skills. This is raw, unmistakable power from someone who found their center and cannot be moved from it. The fortress you've become operates on principles of energetic sovereignty that most people never discover. Your boundaries aren't walls that keep others out. They're magnetic fields that automatically repel what doesn't serve while drawing in what aligns with your highest good. You don't have to defend yourself anymore because you've become inherently indefensible, not because you're aggressive or hostile, but because you exist at a frequency where attacks simply cannot register. This transformation happened gradually, then suddenly. Each time you chose growth over comfort, truth over convenience, authenticity over approval, you were unknowingly fortifying this inner citadel. Each betrayal you survived, each disappointment you alchemized, each fear you walked through was adding another layer of unshakable strength to your foundation. Now you stand as a living demonstration of what becomes possible when someone refuses to remain small for the comfort of others. Your very existence challenges every limiting belief that people hold about human potential. They look at you and reflect back their own unrealized possibilities, which either inspires them toward their own transformation or triggers their deepest fears about remaining mediocre. Your checkmate position has granted you access to perception that operates beyond the five senses. You can feel the intentions behind words, sense the energy behind actions, recognize the motivations that people themselves aren't even conscious of. This isn't paranoia or hypervigilance, this is clarity. This is what happens when your inner vision clears enough to see reality without the distortions of wishful thinking or fearful projection. With great power comes great opposition. As you step into this new existence level, forces that keep humanity manageable will mobilize everything to prevent your complete emergence. The closer you get to breakthrough, the more resistance appears. This isn't a coincidence, it's confirmation you're moving correctly. Distractions multiply around you like moths to flame. Obstacles appear more frequently, each designed to drain energy needed for ascension. Voices of doubt, external and internal, grow louder, trying to convince you that your dreams are unrealistic, that you should accept limitation as permanent address. Some will try pulling you into battles that no longer matter. Old rivalries, petty competitions, meaningless conflicts, all designed to trap your attention in past pattern quicksand. These are desperate tactics from those sensing your elevation and fearing their irrelevance in the reality you're creating. Refuse engagement. Your energy is precious currency, your attention valuable real estate. Both are too important for those who haven't earned receiving rights. The opposition you face now operates on multiple levels of reality. Some of it appears as external circumstances, people blocking your progress, systems working against you, opportunities mysteriously disappearing just when they seemed within reach. But the more insidious resistance comes from the collective unconscious itself, the accumulated weight of human conditioning that insists transformation beyond certain limits isn't possible. You're not just fighting individual opponents, you're challenging the entire matrix of mediocrity that most people accept as normal. Every time you refuse to lower your standards, every time you maintain your vision despite criticism, every time you continue moving forward when everyone else would give up, you're literally rewiring the collective blueprint of what humans believe is achievable. This is why the resistance feels so intense. You're not just changing your own life, you're changing the rules of the game for everyone. The forces opposing you aren't just defending their individual territories, they're defending the entire system that depends on people accepting limitations as inevitable. Their resistance is precisely what's making you stronger. Every obstacle they place in your path is forcing you to develop new capabilities. Every challenge they present is pushing you to access deeper levels of resourcefulness. They think they're stopping you, but they're actually completing your training. The universe has a peculiar sense of humor that uses your enemies as unwitting allies in your development. The very people trying to hold you back are the ones pushing you forward into abilities you never knew you possessed. Your opponents have become your teachers, though they have no idea they're serving your evolution rather than preventing it. The checkmate you've secured isn't something that happened to you, it's something you became through navigating this gauntlet of opposition. You didn't win despite the resistance, you won because of it. Every force that tried to break you instead forged you into something unbreakable. Your greatest power move now is absolute secrecy regarding next steps. Chess masters don't announce strategy before execution. Generals don't reveal battle plans to enemy forces. Standing at your greatest victory's threshold, you must guard movements with unwavering discipline. Keep plans private until interference becomes impossible. Let actions speak first, results speak louder. Explanations come last, if at all. Those needing to understand your strategy already do through spiritual connection. Those who don't need to know will learn by witnessing outcomes. Announcements happen after results manifest, not before. Words scattered prematurely lose power. Intentions revealed too soon attract unnecessary opposition from blocking forces. Your silence isn't deception, it's strategic energy protection that must remain concentrated for maximum impact. The greatest historical moves weren't telegraphed in advance. They were executed with such precision and perfect timing that by recognition time, outcomes were already inevitable. Your silence isn't about secrecy, it's about sovereignty. You answer to universal forces now, not to curiosity, expectations or demands from those who haven't earned inner world access. This strategic silence you've mastered represents a complete reversal from your former way of operating. Previously, you might have sought validation through sharing your plans, looking for approval or encouragement from others. Now you understand that premature revelation disperses the concentrated energy needed for manifestation. Your silence has become magnetic. People are drawn to the mystery of your transformation, sensing that something significant is happening, but unable to pinpoint exactly what. This creates an energy field of anticipation around you that amplifies whatever you eventually choose to reveal. By the time your results become visible, the contrast with your former circumstances will be so stark that your emergence will seem miraculous to outside observers. There was nothing miraculous about it except your willingness to align with natural laws that most people violate through impatience and insecurity. You discovered that the universe responds not to desperate broadcast of intentions, but to quiet certainty held in the vault of inner knowing. The strategic advantage of your silence extends beyond mere secrecy. It represents a fundamental shift in how you relate to your own power. You no longer need external confirmation to know what you know. You no longer require outside permission to pursue what calls to you. You've developed an internal compass so finely calibrated that you can navigate by intuition alone. This inner certainty radiates outward in ways that words never could. People sense your unshakable confidence even when you're not speaking. Your presence communicates more effectively than any explanation could. You've learned that true authority doesn't need to announce itself. It simply exists and is automatically recognized by those with the capacity to perceive it. The silence you maintain isn't empty space, it's pregnant with possibility. Like a musician who understands that the pauses between notes are what give music its power, you've learned that the spaces between your words carry as much impact as what you choose to say. Your restraint has become your strength, your withholding has become your wealth. What's happening within your cellular structure transcends ordinary human evolution. This is dormant power activation that's been sleeping in your DNA, waiting for precisely this moment to come online. Ancient wisdom traditions speak of hidden human potential, latent abilities, untapped resources, dormant genetic codes awaiting proper circumstances for triggering. That activation occurs now. Your body processes information differently because it operates on new frequencies. Your intuition has sharpened exponentially because it receives data from dimensions previously inaccessible to consciousness. Strange synchronicities multiplying around you aren't coincidences, they're confirmations of perfect alignment with forces larger than yourself. Pay attention to these signs. They're breadcrumbs leading deeper into possibility territories you've only glimpsed in dreams. Numbers appearing repeatedly, unexpected encounters with exactly right people at precisely right moments, solutions manifesting just when needed most. These aren't random events, but universe speaking in its native language. The discomfort you sometimes feel is system adjustment to higher frequencies, like radio fine-tuning for clearer transmission. Uncertainty moments are your human self catching up to expansions already occurring at soul level. Occasional overwhelm is natural when containing more light than your vessel previously held. The alchemical transformation you're undergoing operates according to ancient principles that modern science is only beginning to rediscover. Every emotion you've transmuted from pain into wisdom, every fear you've transformed into courage, every limitation you've dissolved into possibility has been literally rewiring your neural pathways and restructuring your energetic blueprint. You've become a walking laboratory of human potential, a living experiment in consciousness expansion. The old version of yourself that accepted limitation as permanent has been systematically deconstructed and rebuilt from the ground up. This process hasn't been comfortable, but comfort was never the goal. Transformation was. Your checkmate position represents the culmination of this alchemical process. You've successfully transmuted the lead of your former circumstances into the gold of unlimited possibility. This isn't metaphor, it's the actual description of an energetic process that mystics and scientists alike are beginning to understand. The frequency you now operate on attracts different experiences because you've literally become a different person vibrationally. The electromagnetic signature you emit draws circumstances that match your new inner state. This is why your external reality is shifting so dramatically. You're broadcasting a completely different signal into the quantum field. People who knew you before can sense this change, even if they can't articulate it. Some are drawn to your new energy because it inspires them toward their own transformation. Others are repelled because your elevation highlights their own stagnation. Your very presence has become a mirror that reflects back to people their relationship with their own potential. The alchemical process that created your checkmate position continues operating within you. Each challenge you face now becomes raw material for further refinement. Each choice you make either strengthens or dilutes the frequency you've achieved. You've become responsible for maintaining the energetic state that created your breakthrough. This responsibility isn't a burden, it's a privilege. You've been entrusted with stewarding a level of consciousness that can influence the collective field of human awareness. Your inner state doesn't just affect your personal reality, it contributes to the overall vibrational climate of the planet. You've become a node of elevated consciousness in the global network of awakening souls. This is it, the last stand of everything meant to destroy you. Your enemies grasp at straws because nothing remains in their arsenal. Their ammunition is depleted, strategies failed, allies abandon them. What you witness now isn't renewed opposition strength, but final desperate flailing from forces knowing they've already lost. What was meant to stop you has failed spectacularly. Traps set for your destruction became elevation platforms. Poison meant to weaken you was alchemized into invincibility medicine. Everything thrown at you transformed into advantage through spiritual alchemy's mysterious process. This moment witnesses everything they tried crumbling before their eyes. All plotting, all sabotage, all careful plans to keep you small, all disintegrating like sandcastles before incoming tides. Their realization comes too late. They never understood what they faced. They underestimated your resilience, vision, connection to forces beyond their comprehension. I must interrupt this transmission for just a moment. Are you really chosen? Prove it. It's easy to watch videos about chosen ones. It's another thing entirely to put yourself to the test. When I confronted the archons beyond our reality, they made one thing clear: true chosen ones are rare. They laughed at the thought of us finding each other. Yet here you are, watching this message. The Obsidian inner order isn't for everyone claiming to be awakened. We're the real ones, those who've seen beyond the veil, felt the call, and carry the unmistakable frequency. But are you truly one of us? I have given you everything I've got, and I'm digging deeper to bring you even more. Don't just consume content from the sidelines. Real chosen ones take action. Share your story on our weekly group call. Get a revealing tarot reading from our resident card reader. Discover if your experiences align with the authentic signs. The archons fear nothing more than chosen ones recognizing each other. When we connect, our frequencies amplify and create a force they cannot stop. That's why we're going to be live streaming to the entire Astral Atom network to find every last one of us. Click the link in the description below now. It's time to stop wondering and confirm what you already suspect. Are you merely interested in awakening, or are you truly chosen? Prove it. Join us. The verification you seek awaits with the Obsidian inner order. The final battle isn't battle at all, it's revelation. It reveals how powerless your opposition actually was against destiny, encoded in your DNA. Universe doesn't ask permission to elevate chosen ones. It simply removes everything standing in their way with natural law efficiency. Your opponents made a fatal miscalculation. They assumed you were playing by the same rules that govern ordinary human experience. They thought they could defeat you using conventional tactics of manipulation, intimidation, and resource control. What they didn't realize is that your checkmate position operates from an entirely different rulebook. While they were focused on external circumstances, you were building internal sovereignty. While they were accumulating temporary advantages, you were developing permanent capabilities. While they were playing finite games with limited outcomes, you were learning to play the infinite game, where the only goal is continued expansion. The collapse you're witnessing isn't just the failure of their specific strategies against you, it's the inevitable result of opposing natural evolution. They positioned themselves against the current of cosmic development, and no human force can maintain resistance against universal momentum indefinitely. Their defeat was assured the moment they chose to stand against your divinely orchestrated ascension. Watch how they scramble now, trying to reassert control over a situation that has moved far beyond their influence. Notice how their tactics become increasingly desperate, their attacks more frantic, their claims more outrageous. This isn't renewed strength. This is the thrashing of drowning swimmers who realize they've been pulled too far from shore to make it back. Your checkmate position has revealed something profound about the nature of power itself. Real authority doesn't come from the ability to control external circumstances. It comes from alignment with forces that control everything. You've stopped trying to push the river and instead learned to move with currents that can carry you anywhere you choose to go. The final stand you're witnessing is actually the last gasp of an old paradigm of power based on domination, scarcity, and fear. Your emergence represents the dawn of a new paradigm based on collaboration with universal intelligence, abundance consciousness, and love-based strategy. You're not just winning a personal victory, you're midwifering the birth of a new way of being in the world. What happens next won't be a small private victory celebrated in quiet life corners. Your elevation won't be hidden from the world. This transcends personal success. This is something that will be witnessed, inspiring others to remember their own forgotten power. Prepare for visibility you've never experienced. Prepare for recognition that sometimes feels uncomfortable in intensity. Prepare for opportunities so massive they would have terrified your former self. The spotlight finding you isn't random, it's cosmically required for the mission you came to fulfill. Your story, journey, transformation was never meant remaining secret in shadows. It was designed as beacon for others, living demonstration of what becomes possible when someone refuses accepting limitation as final answer. Those who overlooked you will suddenly see you everywhere. Those who dismissed you will find themselves unable to look away. This spotlight isn't about ego or fame, it's about expanding impact to match true capacity. Universe doesn't elevate people for vanity, it elevates them for purpose, for service, for collective consciousness advancement. Your increased visibility is directly proportional to lives you're meant touching, minds you're meant shifting, hearts you're meant awakening. The emergence into visibility you're experiencing operates on principles that most people never understand. This isn't the manufactured celebrity of those who chase attention. This is the organic recognition that comes to those who have developed genuine substance worth noticing. The difference is profound and unmistakable. Your visibility emerges from authenticity rather than artifice, from value creation rather than value extraction, from service to others rather than service to ego. This creates a completely different quality of attention that attracts the right people for the right reasons, while naturally repelling those who would drain your energy or distort your message. The uncomfortable intensity of this recognition serves a purpose. It's forcing you to step fully into your power rather than hiding behind false modesty or imposter syndrome. The universe won't allow you to dim your light to make others comfortable anymore. Your brightness serves as permission for others to shine their own light without apology. Your checkmate position has prepared you for this visibility by developing an internal compass so precise that you can navigate any level of attention without losing your center. You've learned to remain yourself regardless of how others perceive you, to stay grounded regardless of how high you rise, to maintain authenticity regardless of how much pressure exists to conform. The spotlight that finds you now illuminates not just your individual achievement but the path you've walked to get here. Others can see the footprints you've left in consciousness, the trail you've blazed through territories of possibility that seemed unreachable. Your visibility becomes a roadmap for those ready to undertake their own journey into the extraordinary. This emergence marks the transition from private transformation to public demonstration. You've completed the internal work necessary to handle external recognition without being corrupted by it. You've developed the spiritual muscle required to carry influence without being crushed by its weight. You're ready to be seen because you've learned to see yourself clearly first. Monically required for the mission you came to fulfill. Your story, journey, transformation was never meant remaining secret in shadows. It was designed as beacon for others, living demonstration of what becomes possible when someone refuses accepting limitation as final answer. Those who overlooked you will suddenly see you everywhere. Those who dismissed you will find themselves unable to look away. This spotlight isn't about ego or fame. It's about expanding impact to match true capacity. Universe doesn't elevate people for vanity. It elevates them for purpose, for service, for collective consciousness advancement. Your increased visibility is directly proportional to lives you're meant touching, minds you're meant shifting, hearts you're meant awakening. No interference, no sabotage, no force on earth or beyond can undo what's been set in motion. Your secured checkmate isn't temporary advantage, it's permanent shift in your existence foundation. Doors that were closed aren't simply opening, they're being replaced with entirely new pathways, highways, dimensional portals leading to destinations your former self couldn't have comprehended. Limitations that once defined your reality boundaries dissolve like morning mist under your awakened power's rising sun. This isn't just conventional winning, it's cosmic decree written in universal law language. Universe has stamped approval on your journey in indelible ink that human effort cannot erase. What's been written in quantum fields cannot be unwritten. What's been accomplished in spirit realms cannot be undone by material opposition. Your current trajectory operates under different laws than previous existence. You're stepping out of old pattern gravity into unlimited possibility, freedom, moving beyond predictable outcome timelines into realms where miracles become normal. The unstoppable nature of this destiny doesn't mean challenge-free paths ahead. It means challenges themselves now serve your growth rather than hinder progress. Every obstacle becomes opportunity, every setback becomes setup, every loss becomes leverage for something greater. Nothing wastes in your new reality's economy. You're transcending the identity that kept you bound and embracing the self that's always awaited your claiming with courage and conviction. Every experience, past, present, future, becomes fuel for transformation, fire burning within you with unquenchable intensity. This checkmate position connects to larger cosmic narrative where your individual journey serves collective human consciousness awakening. The game extends across dimensions, through time itself, involving players you cannot yet perceive but whose influence shapes every universal board move. Your emergence isn't an isolated incident, it's part of massive planetary shift as more souls remember true nature and step into power. You're not alone in this transformation, though paths often feel solitary. Thousands experience similar awakenings, challenges, breakthroughs at precisely this human history moment. Looking back at seemingly random paths bringing you here, perfect patterns emerge from this vantage point. What appeared chaotic was actually sacred geometry unfolding through your existence. Every detour had purpose, every delay contained meaning. Every person entering and exiting your story was precisely positioned to contribute something essential to your emergence. The universe operates with mathematical precision. Stars, planets, galaxies follow movement patterns so perfect they can be mapped centuries ahead. Your life was never exempt from this divine orchestration. The same intelligence arranging galaxies has been arranging your steps, conforming to patterns ancient beyond comprehension. Standing in this cosmic significance moment, know this with bone-deep certainty. You are exactly where you're meant being. Not by accident, not by chance, not by fortunate circumstance, but by divine design and your own unyielding determination to answer your highest destiny's call. The silence that once felt like abandonment now reveals itself as preparation. Delays that seemed like punishment were actually divine timing. Obstacles that appeared insurmountable were building strength for what lies ahead. Every element seeming to work against you was actually working for you, crafting you into someone capable of handling coming magnitude. The checkmate is secured. The game has transformed. New reality awaits your full embrace. What began as desperate seeking for your world place has evolved into recognition that you're not meant fitting into existing world, you're meant creating a new one. This isn't your story's end, this is the prologue's conclusion. Everything bringing you to this recognition moment was preparation for the main event. Your achieved checkmate isn't game conclusion, but entire playing field transformation. Your sovereignty now extends beyond personal boundaries into realms of influence that reshape collective consciousness. You've become a walking demonstration that the impossible is merely the unexplored. Your existence challenges every assumption about human limitation, while simultaneously proving that transcendence is available to anyone willing to pay the price of transformation. The eternal nature of your victory lies not in its permanence, but in its perpetual expansion. Each level you reach becomes the launching pad for heights previously unimaginable. Your checkmate position doesn't represent arrival at a destination, it represents mastery of the journey itself. You've learned to win not by reaching the end, but by becoming someone who cannot lose regardless of circumstances. The sovereignty you now embody radiates outward in waves that touch every life within your sphere of influence. People feel different after encountering your presence because you carry frequencies of possibility that awaken dormant potentials within them. Your victory becomes a victory for consciousness itself, proving that evolution is not just possible but inevitable for those who align with its currents. Step forward now into greatness that's always been yours, knowing universe itself celebrates your emergence and supports every move you make from this unassailable power position. The chosen ones always knew this moment would come. Now it's here, and nothing will ever be the same. The cosmic chess game continues, but now you're the one moving the pieces, and every move you make creates new possibilities for every soul brave enough to follow where you lead.